kill Charlie Kirk, does that mean Charlie Kirk's ideas go away? No. It has always been dangerous to tell the truth. Getting to the truth is the most important thing I've devoted my life to. I mean, I think this is kind of why your country is jumping off a cliff collectively, is that you can't kill the truth. It doesn't matter if you kill the person, the truth lives on because truth is eternal. That's the Christian belief. That's the Christian story. And that's also the reality of the death of Charlie Kirk. You kill Charlie Kirk, does that mean Charlie Kirk's ideas go away? No. And there are ethno-narcissists who believe every conversation is about them, who are like, oh, that's racist, whatever. No, that's Christianity. And I'm not embarrassed of it. I hope I will say it every day in public for the rest of my life. And again, if you think that that's evil, that's really kind of a judgment on you, not me.
So what were you suggesting then in terms of, there is a guy in court.
I don't suggest or imply anything. I'll say it again. You can kill the man. You can't kill his message. You can't kill the truth.
But what you're suggesting is there was a conspiracy wider than the guy who's been literally in court this afternoon, today. You're suggesting.
Of course not. Of course I wasn't. I've never said anything like
that.
Well,
then who was
like that?
Who were the hummus eaters? Plotting to take him down then?
Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, I'm just. It almost
confused. Doesn't matter. Strictly speaking, I don't know the answer. It seems to me, just as an observer, I've not said one word about this in public. I'm close with his wife. I was close with him and a bunch of his staff. I don't want to do anything to add to their suffering. So I have resolved to stay out of it until we understand exactly what happened. I do not understand what happened. And when I do, I think I'll probably talk about it, but not until then will I talk about it. So that's been my rule and I've stuck with it. So I wasn't suggesting anything about Charlie Kirk's murder. I was making a timeless and true statement about the nature of truth, which is it endures all attempts to silence it. That's my point. And that's the Christian story. And so for some whatever crazed person to say that's anti-Semitic, again, I stand in wonderment, but also not total surprise that the gospel strikes some people as dangerous. That's always been true. And as I said, that's the point I was making. It has always been dangerous to tell the truth, but you can't extinguish the truth by killing people. That was it. That's what I was saying. That's not what I was implying. I don't imply, I state.
All right. I mean, okay then. I mean, just on this point, just for a moment more. Your good friend Candace Owens has been putting out some pretty wacko stuff, I would say, would be my opinion, on the death of Charlie. It's not helpful, is it, that, at that time of an incredible national upheaval, and obviously personal and familial family tragedy, to have someone like that picking apart the argument and suggesting that there are darker forces at play here that the US government have a hand in covering up. Can you see why people get upset by that and would like you perhaps to sort of distance yourself from that sort of thing?
Pretty funny. So am I going to attack Candace Owens because you think
I'm not asking you to attack her.
I'm not going to do that, Harry.
No,
probably not going to do that. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt as a foreigner of not understanding our politics, but the whole ritual of this person said something I don't like. In order to be a good person, you must denounce this person. Obviously, I would die before I played along with that. I don't know anyone who's saying that who was the moral authority to compel me. I don't know anyone saying that it was any moral authority at all. And I would say broadly, not about Candace, whom I love, but about all people. Getting to the truth is the most important thing. I've devoted my life to it. I haven't always done a very good job at all, but it still remains to this day my animating motive. I want to know what the truth is. Again, I don't always get there. I usually don't get there, but I want to be the guy who cares what's true. A. B, if you're telling me that because the US government or some law enforcement agency issues a statement that doesn't even make sense, that I'm required somehow morally to accept that and not ask any questions, like, can you hear yourself? I mean, what are you saying?
No, I'm just saying. I'm trying to understand that the point I'm making.
No, I'm trying to understand. Why don't you answer my question? Hold on. What are you saying? So if you're saying that if a law enforcement agency issues an explanation that doesn't actually answer like basic key questions about what happened, that I'm somehow a bad person for asking a follow-up question?
No, I don't think I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that why there is a legal process undergoing and why a guy is standing in an American courtroom today, potentially facing the chair for his role in this. That case, needs to.
I don't think he's in a courtroom today. I don't think he's pled either way. In this
he was in court. He was in court this afternoon for a hearing.
Did he plead?
It's ongoing as we go on. I think it was.
Okay, so I'll tell you my position as
let me just finish my point. Let me just finish my point. My point is, you asked my question. You asked what I'm saying. I'm saying is spectacularly unhelpful to have conspiracy theories, questioning the.
Unhelpful to whom?
Unhelpful to the hopefully getting justice for the guy that put a bullet in that young man's neck.
But in what sense? Why is it okay? If a government issue, I mean, I think this is kind of why your country is jumping off a cliff collectively, because it's like, well, the government said so. In my country, we have a long tradition of freedom. And that means that every person is allowed to come to his own conclusions based on the facts and consistent with his own conscience. Our Bill of Rights, unlike yours, guarantees that right. That's why we don't send people to prison for Facebook posts. So if the government issues a description of what they say happened and it doesn't make sense to you, I'm not sure who it's, quote, unhelpful to ask, like, what does this mean? What are you saying? And, I'm not referring specifically to Candace Owens or anyone else, but like, what is it? What are you even talking about? Why is that unhelpful? Are you saying that the government always reaches the right conclusion? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying there's a risk, though, that during a live trial, essentially, that
a risk to whom?
A risk to the justice, a risk to the trial collapsing, a risk to giving this guy ammunition to perhaps, to suggest in a courtroom that the case against him is somehow flawed.
But you're assuming he's guilty. Like, that's not our system. We don't pronounce people guilty without hearing the evidence. I don't know, what country are you from? That's not how it works here.
I'm not assuming he's guilty. I'm saying he's on trial right now.
We don't put anybody to death unless we're sure they actually did it. And we're sure they did it because we've heard all the evidence, we've heard the counter argument against that evidence, and then citizens make up their mind. So that's our system. That's how we arrive at justice. We don't just assume because we heard 3 things on Twitter that someone is guilty and deserves the death penalty. Like, that is not justice. That's like African justice. And we just try not to do that here. So I don't know. It looks like this guy did it. From everything I've heard, it sounds like he did it. I don't know. I still don't understand the story. And I think that's fair to say. It's not unhelpful to say that. It's just true. And by the way, it's never unhelpful to tell the truth. The whole mandate in life, especially in our business, is just tell the truth.